Good morning and welcome in, everybody. As we transition into this morning update, and we can see XRP slightly below $2.14, down about 1.25%. We had a spike in Bitcoin up just over 106,300. There was a report that BlackRock came out and bought the BlackRock ETF bought about just over 3% of the Bitcoin supply as retail had dried up. However, I don't trust this market. I've been saying it for 6 months now, ever since we had a cycle top, and so far we've come down some 40 to 60% across the board, aside from Bitcoin, as Bitcoin's only down about 9,000 from the top roughly. But I don't trust this market. I feel like they artificially pushed it up this morning just so on Friday a lot of people could end up being trapped in retail. Now who knows, we could get a volume surge and I could be completely off base, but this is what I'm seeing, and I've been factual. Yesterday, my live, what a waste of time, as I put in a very diligent, almost 1 hour live, a lot of information, very informative about what's coming with the cycles, about not to be trapped on a little rise up to almost 107. We talked about this exact move up from this morning yesterday, and we said not to acknowledge it in the most part because that could be a short liquidation for the next move down. So that's likely what happened this morning. Unfortunately, some people in the audience decided to report the content. I did not get a strike. They just removed the content and wouldn't let me re-upload the same video. So it definitely got flagged. So it was an hour of wasted time. So I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm going to continue to do things exactly the way I do it. The more I get banned, the less content there will be on YouTube. It's just that simple. If they decide to kick me off the platform, by the time my website's completed, as it's in the final stages, I'll have the ability to go live and put my content there as well. If you want to get an early look at it, it's xrpfuturemillionaire.com. It's all you got to do. It's a 24/7 XRP chart, and then any other chart you want to pull up, you can search for. I'll have the ability to do lives in there. I'll have the ability to do uncensored content, so nobody can take it down. I'm always going to be here on YouTube. It just gets a bit frustrating when I try to speak the truth and it gets reported. But that's just kind of like a distraction, so I'm not worried about it. I'll continue to put things out like I do. There's a reason we have over 44,600 subscribers, and I'll continue to put things out as transparent as I can. At least you've been a step ahead at 242 or 265 with XRP on this most recent drop. We've talked about the push up to 234. We talked about how if it couldn't hold 217, that it's bearish even there, and it could bring us under $2 and then ultimately to that FVG at $1.50. If that information is too factual for you, and it might be too emotionally draining, I might not be the right community for you. Notice how Bitcoin's at 104,222 and it stayed there as I made this point. The odds, right? That's because the angels are watching over this talk and it's the truth. So this might not be the community for you if you want unexaggerated FUD, but if you want the reality, if you want to stay ahead and you want to actually make portfolio, make bank, and not be in it during the drops, you may want to stick around. Been doing this since March 24th of 2021, never missed a day in 4.5 years. Built a portfolio from 5,000 to over 6 figures, and in the same time built a commodities portfolio of mining stocks from 5,000 to over 50. So those are two competing things. We've got an emerging markets fund over 14,600 right now, and we've got gold and silver bullion from 2021 in this community when it hit 1,600 in early 22 when we started buying, and silver around 16 bucks. So we've got a damn good portfolio. And if you've been paying attention and you're not becoming offended, playing the victim, but you're trying to be a winner, play with the positivity, try to push that information out, you are so far ahead. You could look at your past self in 21 and just shake your own hand for following along. But as of right now, as I said yesterday, if you weren't here, we had 160 people in the live. It had already got over 1,000 views in a couple hours, so it was doing rather well. So it had great traction. And at about 11 o'clock last night, I got an alert that said that they had removed the content. And then I got a bunch of messages asking why I didn't do a live last night. And it's like, well, in fact, I did do a live, but it got taken down. So I've done exactly what I said. I was asked a bunch of times, if you had the decision, would you short or long the market? I said if it goes to 106, 107,000, you can short it while they take out the rest of the shorts. You'd still have to pay attention because you could put a stop loss above 107 on Bitcoin if that was your prerogative. So I may or may not have took my own advice. You'll have to read between the lines there. But I wouldn't want to get banned by sharing too much of that beautiful information, Some people would go behind a paywall because of this. I just simply won't share certain things. I'm not going to give anybody the satisfaction of somebody having to pay so somebody else doesn't have the money, can't see it. That's just another way for the rich to get richer. We're all going to be broke or we're all going to be rich together. So this content's going to remain free. I'm not hiding behind a paywall because of some pansies in the audience. And if you fit that agenda, I mean, that's just the way it goes. So Bitcoin's down at 213.9. We're down 1.25%. And the only way to really do this is just to do it. So if I offend you, you know, we're in the common age of offense. You know, people get offended for nothing. So if you get offended, you're going to be offended, but your portfolio is going down. So you can either take it with a grain of salt and listen to what I'm saying, or you can go the offended route, report my content, still lose all your money because it's still going to go down, like I said, regardless. So whether you report my content or not, it's not going to bring the charts up. You know, so I would rather see the information than not. So that's up to each and every one of you to make that decision. I can't hold your hand, nor do I want to lead you, you know, by holding your hand. I'd like to lead you by making you a stronger trader, not weaker. Yesterday showed a huge sign of weakness with a few of you, and that's okay. Some of us are weak, some of us are strong. The strong end up succeeding, the weak end up broke. Happens every cycle. So this isn't my first rodeo. This has happened in every single cycle on the way down. If this were to break, we could say even that this is a bear flag from up here. Breaking that formation gets us down to about that $2.02 area in current time. That's the downtrending support line, and that is the pattern breakout of the back test. We failed to get back above 219, and now in current times, we would have to get back over if we were trying to invalidate this bearish drop, which I find it very hard to believe we're going to. But again, I can only scream from the rooftop for so long. It's up to you to make an educated and informed decision. I've been criticized so much the last 6 months because of selling out of 75% of my portfolio, and it was 100% the right move. And we've had phenomenal swing trades along the way that have helped us build $20,000, $30,000 in equity that we're able to use right now and not be in the market while it's dropping. So I'm very comfortable with what we do here. I'm very comfortable with the information put out. And, you know, I'm not offended by the offended, actually. You know, I embrace it because the more people that are talking like that, the more I know we're in the right direction. The more times my content gets taken down because of the truth, I know it's going to happen. You know, so the case study says we're going down, and the fact that YouTube's trying to block what I'm saying probably reiterates it. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a volume spike here. Maybe we'll get a volume spike. Maybe we'll push back up, you know. Maybe we'll look at it from that narrative. But right now, this looks awful. The weekly looks horrendous. We're engulfing to the downside. That to me is a gravestone doji at the highest order. If it comes down to about 101K, you're going to have a long leg doji confirming a reversal. This looks ugly. We're below the short-term rising wedge. We're in a much larger rising wedge, but if this falls out, we come down to 91,800. If that wedge breaks, we go down to 62. So, you know, we have to make a decision here. Do we want the information or do we want to, like, sugarcoat it? You know, so that's the problem. And we're going to bounce around here. There's no doubt about that. We're going to bounce around. A lot of volatility here. But anything short of volume, rate cuts, quantitative easing, very difficult for risk assets. Gold was down this morning a lot. I mean, in comparison, over 30 bucks. Now it's eating it up to only $2.80 down. Silver was down almost 4% this morning. It's cut it in half. We were down to about $34.90, and now it's back up to $35.90. Silver miners, some of them took a little bit of a hit. First Majestic down 4% after it had an extreme run up. Pan America Silver down 1%. Hecla's down 2.1%. Fortuna down 1.2%. Barrett's up 0.3%. B2 Gold down less than 1%. Murphy's down 1%. Oil is down about just over 0.8%, just under 75 bucks a barrel. These are all back testing previous breakouts, as to where crypto is, you know, front loading that resistance tap. So we're on opposite ends of the spectrum here. Which way does it break? I would say risk off, probably have the better shot here. Risk on are going to have trouble. But as you've seen, we had a nice spike in Bitcoin this morning, up to 106,300 or 400. It's dropped 2,000 points since the trading day started. It's almost like the assault on the United States. The Eastern Standard Time Zone wakes up. They pump it up at like 3, 4 a.m. And then by 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the market just all of a sudden drops as if it's planned. And then we kind of have to catch ourselves. Ethereum having trouble with now 2,500 is a problem. Couldn't hold 2630, which was the rising wedge retake, or the wedge. So all of this is looking overtly bearish. We've had some other ones that are trying to give us a little bit of positivity. Like you had data come up. It's up about 5-6% this morning. The weekly looks horrendous. 4 hourly tried to go up, but now it looks like a 4 hourly reversal is trying to start. We'll see if these do pull through, because if they pull through, it's going to be brutal. This will be brutal if this pulls through. This now created a base over the top to where now all of crypto, especially the alt tokens and Bitcoin for that matter, if it doesn't get any volume, if altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the rest don't get volume to help push us to the next level, now we've got a base over the top now to where we're going to end up falling right through. And that stronger base is what allows things to end up falling through in a pretty catastrophic way. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to say anything I shouldn't say because I'm still a little, let's just say a little emotional over what happened yesterday. But I'm not going to put that in an outwardly way. And in fact, what I'm going to do this morning is, ladies and gentlemen, when things are uncertain, when we don't know what's going to happen, when I'm getting ridiculed or when you're being ridiculed and you are just sick of the market because you don't know what's going to happen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the fun. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we won't and we may and we did and we are and we didn't and we won't and we will and we can and we may and we won't and we will and we can't and we will and we won't, and he tells the truth so we ban it and we will and we won't and we have to report and we will and we won't and we can and we will and we won't and we will drop. Oh yeah. Stay true, stay blessed. Bitcoin gonna be stomped. Stay true, everybody. I hope this found you well and I didn't offend thee.